So are those red lines relevant for right now, or those?
No. Those were left from last time, but when I do delete here, there you go. Okay. So we have that now, and trades. Okay, so trades, there's no trade. So I haven't started today.
Okay.
So you want me, I guess, to come up here and sort of like zoom out and look at our limits.
Yep. Let's go ahead and measure out our.
So maybe do this and that.
Trend, bias, and price cycle.
Okay.
We have a little bit of news this morning.
Thank you.
There will be, is what I was saying.
I like it. Ed says he hasn't started for the day, but he's done. I haven't started trading, but I'm done.
Okay, so and, we do have some big price cycles on the 5 minutes here. Huge.
Yes, we do. Okay.
And,
let's check the news as well, because usually you don't have a whole ton of news on Fridays.
There was a speech at 8:00 this morning, from what I saw.
What, 7, 8, and 8:30, something like that.
What's the color? Any reds, oranges?
No, it's an orange.
Yeah, usually don't get major news events on Friday
at 6:00 as well. But.
Unless like the biggest event of the month is always on Friday, which is called non-farm payrolls, which will trade the aftermath of it, starting at 7, which will be next Friday. It's always the first Friday of the month. And it's crazy. In fact, maybe we should start and trade it in a demo account just so you guys can get it, because it's only half an hour earlier, and it's kind of fun to trade, but I don't do it in an account you don't want to lose in. But it's kind of fun to trade for sure.
Okay, so the
consumers. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. So we got in an hour. We have consumer sentiment. Pete says we have a Michigan in an hour. Okay, so and that's red. All right, so when it gets close to the top of the hour, we'll have to make sure that we're kind of trading lightly.
Okay, so these price cycles are like 30 pips and 27 pips, the last two.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we have an uptrend for the morning at the very least, even though the overall trend still like
but you're looking at the hour chart, which is fine.
Right. I was looking at the hour chart just to zoom out, and then if I go in, okay, this is what we have for like right now.
Right.
So that would be like a downtrend for the morning, I would say, right?
Right.
And then if this is our price cycles, we are at the bottom of a price cycle right now on the 1 minute.
But we're also in what I would consider in a light situation where if it breaks down, it could run for a little bit. Right. So I would look right now doing what it's doing right now. As long as we have some money to be made, which we do, I'd start building into some sells here.
Okay, light.
Yeah. So, yep.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and zoom in on the 1 minute so we can kind of see our action candles. And your stop losses are really tight. Why are they? Or is that trailing stops on? Yeah, trailing stops on. How do we fix that for you?
Yeah, that's a 5 minute chart.
Oh, you're trading on the 5 minute chart. Thank you.
Still.
Yeah. So
Let's do do you want me to bring the trader agent and the 1 minute, or what do you want me to do?
yeah, let's just turn your trailing stops off too. So go ahead and open up that template. For everybody else, like I said, I think probably should start building into some cells here and your action point will be at the bottom of that turn. So about 6 pips away. And I would probably if you can put a layer on, that's what I would do. You can get into about 4 or 5 trades.
So do another layer of cells. Is that what you're saying?
No, I need you to open up your trader agent template.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Fix your template because I don't want to. Like with my dad, a lot of the stuff that we were dealing with was so load your 1 minute.
Here it is. Oh, this is the zero take profit.
Load it because it's not. You got to load it.
Oh, load it. Okay.
So 1 minute, zero take profit.
Okay.
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 Right. And then where'd it go? I can't see it anymore. Where did it go? You got to open your template back up, Patricio.
Okay. Wait. So I'm missing a step. So, okay. So I do this. I open it.
Load your 1 minute.
There it is, right?
Nope. You got to load your 1 minute.
Okay. Okay. So load here. Okay.
Load 1 minute, zero take profit. Hit OK.
Open.
Then right here where it says, are you hitting enter? I got to change some things.
Let
me just do it real fast.
Yeah. Wait. Let me give you. Okay. Let me. Shit. Wait. Let me pin you, but it's not letting me give you access to this Y. Okay, could you do that and ask again? Because it's asking me to restart my computer for some reason. Pin, shit.
I think, okay. Do I have it? Just go back to LMFX.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now there you go. Now don't hit enter to load your 1 minute chart and don't get out.
I won't. There you
go. Okay. Now come down here to where it says, let's see. You do have trailing stops off. So for whatever reason, you must have had the wrong thing on. Okay, you're good. Now that you loaded the 1 minute up. So, okay, go ahead and hit okay. Let's get trading because we're missing opportunities here.
Right. Okay, so
zoom in. So hit the plus key.
Mm-hmm.
On the 1 minute. Hit the plus key on your keyboard.
There you go.
Hit it again.
Hit it again.
Yeah, why are you so flat?
If I do this, it tends to correct itself. Wait, let me.
Yeah, here, let me.
Okay. Yeah, if I do this.
Yeah.
Wait, like that.
Okay.
Sort of like, okay, and you have control now, David, if you want it.
I do want it. I just want to get you set up to trade here. There we go. Back to normal. Okay. So as it comes up, we'll trade with this view right here. I'm going to let you drive. Mm-hmm. So as it comes, if it pokes its head back up, It's one of the same view that I have for some reason. There we go. Okay, so when it comes down to here, where's our action point, Patricio?
So right here would be, can you see my line here? I guess. But, so right here, yeah, right there. That's our action point. Depending on the action of the candle, if it flickers, I could get out of those cells. And if it crosses, I could hold on to them, wait for a confirmation candle maybe. And my question is always, if that does happen, I do not put any more cells because I am at the end of the price cycle, right?
Correct.
So
you could have, I'm hoping people, while we were monkeying with this template, were able to put more cells on. So you technically, we should be 2 to 3 layers deep on this rundown. And if it goes back and sucks past the action point, I would get out.
I just got out and made $88. So
good. So I'm still kind of holding on to that, or we're going to hold on to that until it, okay. And then decides to either stop. All right. I'd get out. Go ahead and get out. Because it sucked back up.
Right.
And if it sucks back up any further, then just do it again. But Pete, not a bad call to get out and jump in with some buys. Your action point if you did that, your action point for your buys is probably going to be right here. So, just because you're still fighting with that trend a little bit, don't anticipate a buy to come up and test the top, in 1 or 2 price cycle, or just like 1 or 2 candles, I should say. I think we're going to test the bottom here and see if it's going to continue with the downtrend. So Patricio, go ahead and look for opportunities to get into some sells. So meaning, as long as you have, I would say at the top of that, if it comes back up to the top of that green candle, go ahead and throw some more sells on. Because we want at least profit to the bottom of that action point again.
Right.
So if it pops up, but if it doesn't and it crosses with a body, then it's probably going to come all the way back down and test the lows. And so we want to be in again. So we'll kind of recycle our trades here. So again, if we get a little bit of a pop up, let's go ahead and throw a few trades on. So go ahead, throw one on. Maybe another one, but let's wait and let's say that that's kind of early. So now that it pops up, let's see if we get a price cycle up.
Okay.
And this is in case it does pop right there. But if it comes back up right there, go ahead and throw another one on and another one on. Good.
You throw it on cells. Sorry.
Yeah.
I only need to make $12 and then I've done my 2% for today.
Oh, sweet. And then what do you do?
And go back to bed.
Yeah.
No, I got an appointment at 9. So
you get in, get out, get done, right? That's how that's the name of the thing. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Hey, we still on today? Go throw some.
Yeah, I'm down for disc golf.
Yeah, go throw some frisbees around. That'd be awesome. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna see if we can get that break, but we're right on that action point. So you're gonna see if we can get down with that. Again, there's that action point, and hold on to this one though, Andrew, in case it does suck back, but it could drop.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
It could drop and continue to run. But now we got our action point, our 5 minute. You see the bottom of that wick on the 5 minute. That's our action point. I don't know if it will cross, but if it comes all the way down to there and stalls, that's when we should get out. So go ahead and get out on, well, hold on. I thought I was stalling, but now it's kind of seeing it wants to push lower again.
Okay, I got to make 28 cents.
You made 20. Okay, go ahead, Patricio, get out.
I mean,
Because
$12.60.
it pushed back up. And now we're going to wait for it. If it comes back up to here, get into some sells again.
Okay.
But
Now,
it could break lower and continue to run. But that doesn't mean that we made the wrong call because the pressure started to come up and we wanted to maximize our profit, right? So also want to expand this for today so we can kind of see where we're at. All right. You already made a couple $100. So you're at 1% right now. So great job. So we got to just do it again to get your 2%.
So this is always the hard part. I mean, before this green candle, because you feel like you've missed out and you tend to put more shorts right at the end of that last blue candle. And then it goes back to you. You get like fear of missing out, right?
Right. So Pete asked the question, was it wrong to get into buys? Not necessarily, but you would get out pretty quick. Like right now at the bottom of this, you could have bought, but the trend is definitely down. And so if you know you're going against the trend, you want to go lightly and you want to get out quickly. So if you see an opportunity on a buy for just a quick hit, just like a quick 2 to 3 pips, then you can take that. So, so you just got to understand, get in, get out, right? And if it doesn't pan out, get out. So if you see an opportunity for a buy right now, which I'm not going to suggest it just because we did break lower, so it could run lower. I'm thinking that it's going to come down. If it breaks this, which I'm thinking it will, then the next point is here. And
so throw on a sell right here.
I always like to throw on sells when it pops up. So right here would have been a good time to, right, or 2, right. And I think I told you that, Patricio. I said, if it
it was sometimes it's slow on the trigger, but I can see that. Yeah.
So if it does pop up, I don't like taking sells here right on the edge. It could break, but it could also shoot back up, and then you gotta you gotta fix your trade. So I'd rather just, if I miss the opportunity because it didn't give me the right chance to get in, then oh well, there's always another one, right? Josh, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. All right, so there you go. That's a good place to get into a layer here.
Layer sells.
It popped up, and I mean, your view is a little different than mine. Yeah. See, there's 4 pips here. I don't know. I need to reset your view.
I've been fighting the views ever since I started using LFMX.
Sure. Anybody know a quick way to refresh the template or refresh the view without opening up a new chart?
That's why I've been trading one string Alveo, one string LFMX.
I don't blame you, for sure.
I've been cheating.
This is all I know. I don't know anything other than this. So,
well, it's the same thing. It's
just the 4 chart icon. You think? Oh, that did it. Thanks, Joseph.
How do you do that?
It's this 4 chart icon. Reset your view. But you're still, I don't know, kind of want to be like that a little bit. All right. So your action point still is at the bottom of that candle.
Right.
I think it might be just my monitor is bigger than yours. Because
shouldn't make any difference.
It shouldn't.
Do you have one of those huge monitors?
It's 32 inches. So it's about as big. It's not as big as Andrew's. It's like on like a
Mine,
like a
mine's pretty
60-inch TV.
Yeah. Big. No way.
Big screen. All right, so our action point is down here at the bottom of this, right? And you could say that this right here could be right here.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes up and tests this, we'll definitely throw some more cells on.
Okay.
Right there. Whose resolution? My resolution? Remy, my resolution is a 4K. 4K. New Year's.
So do you want
New Year's resolution is we're all gonna hit $50,000 trading.
So you want me trading with 0.20 or 0.25?
You could go 0.25, but 0.20, we can just keep that for today. Oh, we should
Cells.
hold on. Whoa, turbo.
Cleaned it with style.
That doesn't mean when I put a layer on, I don't just smack 4 trades and right in the same place, right? So when you put trades on, you want to put maybe 1, 2, and then if it jumps up, put another 2, and another 2. Never go 1, 2, 3, 4 right in the same.
Okay.
It defeats the purpose of might as well trade with 1 lot as opposed to 4 trades. The purpose of breaking your trades up is so you can put them in different positions, right?
Okay.
That makes sense. So like all the way up here, we're layering our trades, right?
Got it. Okay.
And the only time I smack that button, like what you just did, is if I see an opportunity, like if it's an extremely good opportunity, like I'm fading a candle, like this candle comes down really quick, or this one comes down and I know it's going to bounce back, I may jump into some buys, like really as much as I can do before the candle pulls back, right? That's the only time I'm just smacking that get into trade button. All right, so we're going to continue. If it breaks here on the buy, then the next action point is there. And I don't know if it will, but it is starting to see that price cycle up. So if it comes down here, if it comes down and breaks below this, then we'll want to start getting out because it's looking like it's price cycling up right now, right?
They want to find a way to flip into some buys, right?
Maybe. I still don't want to carry the buys because this is a low, right? And if it drops this, it could drop. It could run again.
Okay.
Right. And so, if anything, I'm okay to be a little bit heavier on sells, but light on buys until it crosses this point. If it crosses that point, then my bias will shift. And we could freely trade up and down if it starts to consolidate.
Right. So once you've gotten away from the edge, that would say.
Correct. Everybody's commenting like on your clicking. It's like Josh says, it's so satisfying.
Well, the sound of it is great.
Remy says you gotta pray now. Not in the hope, you're in the pray. Love it. You're way past hope. Now you need divine intervention to fix your trades. All right. So in order for it to climb back down again, we do need it to cross this with the body. If it does not cross that with the body, the chances of it leaves the door open for it to go higher. Right.
Okay.
So, so I like to have this open too, so we can kind of see how deep you are, how bad you're in it. $80 isn't too bad. But we don't want to turn that 80 into 300 and give up all the profits that we just made. With you at account size, we're still really light, which is good, but we might want to think about protecting ourselves on this layer.
Mm-hmm.
So on these layers right here, if it comes down and stalls here, we may want to get out, meaning that this would be a zero take profit layer. So we might want to look for opportunities to build in to fix this layer. So go ahead and put a sell on right now. We're going to, like I said, we're going to sell all the way up to the top of this, looking for a price cycle down. Go ahead and throw another one on because we just got that pop up. And go ahead and throw another one on. And we're just going to wait for this price cycle down. And keep going as it comes up. Like I said, if it comes up past this, then we'll want to start playing, really getting into some fixing stuff. But I'm hoping, well, not hoping, but we got this price cycle here, the price cycle's here. I hope we'll get a price cycle down. So I'm building into a position right now for the next price cycle. But now I'm thinking that price cycle might just be coming down here or here. And so we need to get some profit along the way. So go ahead and throw another sell on. And again, keep selling as it pops up. And that's why we don't just click it a ton of times here.
Right.
Because we just kind of layer them up right there. All right, now as it comes down, you got a small little action point here. Should cross, but this is the bigger one that I'm looking for. If it comes all the way down, the price cycle's down. It has to cross this in order for this to be in play. And this is about as far as I want you to trade as far as like normal trading. So and then the rest of your positions will be for opportunity or fixing your trades.
Okay.
All right. So if it does break higher, then we might shift into some buys until it decides to price cycle back down. But so I'm saying that because, I keep saying you always want to have a what happens if plan. What do you do if, right? So, but again, we're still well within the price cycles. So we got a 20 pip down and we're 20 pip up. So what we don't want it to do is run two price cycles, which would be 40 pips, which would put us at the top of that.
When's the news going to happen? In 26 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But all this could be, with 20 pip price cycles, it's just usually that precedes, get a lot of, genre trading, no take profits. It's kind of like a staple now. All right, let's cross that Y line. Do it. Do it. This is the hope strategy, not the pray yet.
Right.
If it does it, yes. Is there times when we do trade profits? Yes. When the market is giving us 10 pip price cycles, then let's jump into like a 3 pip take profit situation. But when the price cycles are just so large, and you need trades to fix your other trades, like right now, it's coming down. So as long as it comes down into here, this is our action point, you should be profitable, like at very least break even, like you are right now. So you could get out and make $55, but what you don't want to do is suck all the way back up. So that was your action point. So if it stalls here, Patricio, you need to get out, right? But that stall was so fast.
Right. So I need you to let go of my mouse, or I cannot do that.
Go ahead. You got full control.
Yeah. So okay.
So I'm going to let you kind of look at that. If it comes back up and crosses this, then it's just going to test the top. So let's hope in 40 seconds, hope it doesn't test that top. It's got to cross that blue candle in order for that to happen. If it comes down and closes below the blue candle, then it's going to test the action point once again. So again, you got to decide, am I getting out, or am I going to try and run it all the way down? And that's right now you decide to get out, which isn't a bad call. I think I might do the same. Yeah. So for me, I traded differently than you. So I'll just kind of give you what I did. So I sold here thinking it wasn't going to come here. And then I didn't sell until all the way up here. So right here, I didn't have any trades on. So I was able to capitalize on this move and make about $50 there for that.
Okay.
Because once it crossed this, I had a feeling that it was going to go all the way up here. So, but it could have turned at any point. So now, because it struggled to get up here, if you have profit between this point and this point, I would buy.
But that's a less than 1 pip, right?
Joseph, that's amazing. So you bought all the way up. So I mean, if we would have known that we were going to do a 20 pip price cycle, which I still can't wrap my head around trading 20 to 40 pip price cycles, because it's not normal for me. But if I would have said, okay, it's 20 down, 20 up, we could have, if we'd have known we were going to get a full price cycle back up, the best play is on your sells to buy to build in. But I mean, gosh, I would have thought here. Oh, what did you do?
So if our trend right now is still down, what I would do is wait for the top of that price cycle and maybe start.
Right. So here's kind of an entry action point right here. If it pops up to here, I would sell. Right. But I'd only put a few sells on and get kind of light, because it could break up. And if it breaks up above this, I want to be able to fix this really quickly. Because if it breaks above this, this is our buy signal. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you don't want to go too heavy if it does breaks. But right now, go ahead and throw a sell on or two, but not like immediately. If it pops up, go ahead and throw another one on. Go ahead. And then now you're in decent position here. So go ahead and throw one more on, because we're early on that candle. I don't know if it's just going to poke its head up and pop back down. If the action of this candle comes all the way up here and tests, definitely put a few sells on, because I don't think it would have enough momentum just to kind of break that.
Okay.
Oh, 5 minutes. Thanks, Ed. Thank you, guys. It's always awesome to have you guys calling out. So I'm calling them action points because I'm calling them action points just so you guys know, because they're the points, obviously they're the points on the chart where I want you to take action if you're in trades. Either get out, close for take profit, or reverse your position, or whatever that is, right? It's an action point where you need to take an action. But in the wobble technique, it's the same thing as identifying your zones. So it's the top of a zone or a bottom of the zone I just rephrase them to action points because I keep teaching that if it crosses this, then do this. If it crosses that, then do that. If it crosses this, then do that. And so I just changed the name to action points to kind of drill in the if this, then that philosophy a little bit tighter, right? Because I'm always constantly saying if this, then that. And so I actually haven't really started calling them action points till, well, really we started trading LMFX every day. Just like that's just, to me, it's just a different term. But like I'm saying, it's still zones, right? All right. What does that Ed say? Ed's calling out in 10 minutes or 20 minutes, top of the hour. You think we're going to jump up higher? And that's a great thing. I mean, the news, it's gone up for a long time. So for it to go up higher, that would be good. So,
there you go.
Go ahead and smack a few cells on real quick. And we're going to play that fade. So if it comes down to here, we're going to get out your cells.
Of those cells.
All of them. Just close out. You should close out all of them because now we're in buy areas, but we'll see if we can get that candle to suck back down. Because that candle could be, so as long as as soon as it goes back into profit, go ahead and close out. Hold on. Let's see if we can get it to come out, but get ready. And I'd close out. Yeah, because we're in buys. Go ahead and close out. Oh, it makes me nervous. If it comes back down.
Yeah, it's not okay. The close long button is not working. I see no long trades here. Can you see them?
You're in shorts. So you got close shorts, buddy.
Okay, so it comes back down.
Yeah, that's okay. I did a noob thing yesterday. I bought when I meant to sell. I'm like, why did I do that? That's such a noob thing. I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, that's what I was doing right now.
All right. So if those of you guys who didn't get out, or if you guys did get out, we're back. We're into buy territories now. So if it pulls back, buy. To fix this, I think you need a few more cells because you're going to take a loss because you didn't smack enough cells on the top. Now it's not the time to do that. But if it does go up, to fix these, you could either put a buy on the bottom of here, and get out and flip into buys really quick. In fact, let's do that. Let's if it pops down a little bit more, so that we're under $100, get out and flip into buys, like put a layer on quick. So go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, let me use my mouse.
You got it.
Okay.
So go ahead and close your shorts and then flip into buys. Hurry, buy. And as it comes down, go ahead and buy. There is a technique here, which we could have done, which not smack them. You don't need to smack them like that. But if it comes down a little bit more, that's why I like Trader Agent. So I'm going to fix your template because I do want you trading with this, but I'd rather have you trade this because right here, you could have reversed. You could have hit that and it would have closed out all your buys and put sells on or flipped your positions.
Oh, really? Wow.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just going to fix this really quick because it would be faster for me to do it. I've gotten really good at working with Trader Agent. But I know you want to trade with quarter lots here. So, okay. And save your template. 1 minute, 0 take profit. Yes. Okay. All right. So now we got to kind of make up the losses that we took. So we already are. We made up that loss already because I think you took like a $90 loss. So this is so much better than sitting on your cells and waiting for it to come back down. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you're right on your action point here, Patricio. So get ready to take the mouse back. If it breaks above this, then where's your next action point is right here. So right there, if it comes up stalls and it pops back down, get into buys. So that's what I want you to do. Okay.
Okay.
Comes up here, stalls, get out,
Yeah.
and get back in with another layer. So we're going to recycle the trades.
Yeah, but I'm going to sell. Then I'm going to wait for the support.
No, you're not going to sell. You're just going to close your trades. And
right. I'm gonna place some buys at the bottom of that.
Correct. Yeah. Right. If it stalls. So
right.
If it stalls right here, right, then that's what I want you to do. If it comes back down to where your buys are, go ahead and throw a few more buys on. That's good. And then that's no more. I want to make sure you have enough to cover the spread to the top of that line. So if it shoots down on a wick, then like down into here, then go ahead and throw another buy on. Okay. But not unless it comes down to like this white line with a candle. I don't think it will. I think it's going to come back up and try and test that, but that's your action point. Your action point's at the top of those candles.
Right
there.
Right.
Remy, let's see. I don't have my chat open. Sorry about that. Oh, good job, Joe. Just curious, what did you end up at? Remy asked, why were you sure it would go up? And when you reverse the trades from short to long? Because it had crossed over this point right there. So we were trading for it to come back down. Because it crossed over this point, I knew we were going to get another price cycle up. And with the momentum of the candle, and it closed too. So just the momentum and everything. Nice.
I'm starting to see how to recycle. I should have recycled. I should have.
Sure. Like if we would have got out here, this is the point where you would get back in, right?
Yeah, I should have done.
But you got to be quick.
Got out and I got straight into some cells, but I didn't go straight into those cells.
It's kind of like what we were talking about. You just got to read and react really quickly, right?
Yeah, and I think for me it's just a confidence thing more than anything.
Sure, yeah, that's true. But you get to the point where you're like, oh, I've seen this a few 100 times. Yeah.
But I am sitting at like 2.5% today. So
yeah, Joe, you were spot on. It's really hard to catch sometimes because the movement could be like milliseconds. That's why I like this. This right here, if I'm going to get out and get in, that reverse button is really awesome where you can just reverse your trades, like get out, build a sell, right? But it does take time. Like the execution of MT4 is so much slower than Alvio. And I know you don't understand that, Drew, but because you never traded that platform. But like when you get out, you get out. And it doesn't take like 20 seconds and you get all that slippage.
Yeah.
Joseph, did you end up on the day? I'm just curious where you ended, if you don't mind sharing. So you said you're done trading for the day. Hopefully that's a good done trading for the day. All right. So now, now that it's coming down and testing this right here, which we don't want it to, because this will be our now we're gonna sell. So I'd look for an opportunity to get out of some of these trades. So hopefully if it breaks above this, I would look for an opportunity to close and recycle. So we still got to fix your $90 loss that you had, which we needed to take it right there. So get ready to close your trades there, Chief.
Okay.
And if it pops up a little bit off of this, I would go ahead and close that, or actually go ahead and close it now. And we'll just restart, just because I want to make sure that we covered your loss, right? And that's important to do. Cover that loss. Just might as well put those in the bank, right? Cover that loss so that you know that you're starting back from where you were. Does that make sense? And then now
so we already did cover that loss because we're back to 260, right?
Well, we just did. So you took a $90 loss, and then we just took a $100 gain, just right there. Does that make sense?
Right, of course.
So, and there's power in that, and it's like a psychological power.
Right.
And the power is now we're at a reset to zero. So we don't have any trades on. And anytime you get this reset to zero, is a perfect opportunity for us to reanalyze the market. So meaning, what's our price cycles? What's our trend? What's our bias? Did it shift while we were so kind of sucked into tunnel vision? Now that we don't have any trades on, let's take a step back and look at the market from a wide vision and see if everything that we were trading is still relevant, that the market condition shifts. The other thing that we have here is at the top of the hour, we got a news event that's happening.
So what would you do? Because we could shoot some sells here and again try and wobble.
We could, but I would trade lightly just because we're up against a news event, right? And I'm kind of feeling like that news event is going to push higher. The trade's higher. It's going to go higher just because that's been the trend for the past couple of days. So
So would you build into some buys leading up to that news event then?
I would, just because that's what I feel. But if it's a major news event, okay, let's talk about this for a second. And I don't know if this is it's not a major news event, but a lot of times on news, you're gonna see this, and we'll try and trade it, but we're gonna go light. So when they say put trades on, let's not. Yeah, Pete called it exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. So if it shoots up on a news event, like a candle like that, we'll wait for the candle to slow down, and we'll put like 2 trades on here, because the news event will do this. It will shoot up, and then it'll come right back down and go the other way, or it will shoot up and continue to shoot up. And you never know what it's going to do. And so on the first shoot up and stall, I always put a light trading position of 1 or 2. But if it comes back and starts doing this, I'll build into that for a few more until it goes to about 50%. And then when it hits about 50% of that first candle, I would close out, especially if it's stalling. So if it's coming down here and stalling, I close out of all those trades. So that's what I'm going to try and have you guys execute on if we see that happen. If it does it the other way, you play the same game. If it, good. That's good, Joseph. She said that he increased his stop loss. I think everybody's at 60 stop loss right now, because I mean, when you got 20 pips price cycles, you should be able to withstand. You should trade lighter and be able to withstand 3 price cycles, which is 60 pips against you. And the only way you can withstand 60 pips against you is if we're trading lighter. Now, Giorgio, we have not been trading light at all today. according to what the price cycles dictate. So that's kind of a learning curve too, is I want we should have been trading with like 2 lots as your max position size. When your price cycles are 20, anything greater than 10, really, you should be trading. We should cut your max loss, your max position size in half so that you can withstand a run against you and easy to fix it. Does that make sense?
Okay. So, and then just a question, when you said if it shoots up for the first candle, then you always go against that first candle?
I do on the news event. So if it shoots up, like I said, it's either going to shoot up and then continue the uptrend,
Right.
But sometimes it'll shoot up and then fade back 50%. Or in this case, if it shoots down, I don't trust it shooting down. So I'd probably fade it a little more because sometimes it goes up and then continues to climb up. Right now, that's a major news event. In fact, next Friday, we'll do I think we're going to call it next Friday, non-farm payroll. Let's trade it, but let's jump on an hour early. So let's start our session next week at 6 instead of 7. I know it's going to be early for you.
You're killing me.
But it's a 1 month event. It only happens that day, right? So
I think that would be very exciting, and let's do it on Cool's account.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. 2 lots is he's in a $20,000 to $5,000 account. Or he's in a $22,000 account. So basically we can start at 6 and then we can talk about it next week, so it'd be more relevant for me to kind of explain how we're going to trade it. So we'll have about a 30-minute kind of training session. But usually you do get a lot of volatility leading up to it. And then like 5 minutes before it just goes dead. It's like the calm before the storm, right? So we'll see, sometimes like in 3 minutes when a news event happens, sometimes you get it and sometimes it's a nothing burger. But it's always good to kind of be out of your trades and not have any trades on before a news event happens, and then just trade the after thing. So Patricia, I do want you to have that open because you're going to need to quickly get into some trades.
Okay.
So again, how we're going to trade this is we should, if it's at the top right here, this is a good spot for if it's going to break up right here. You can see a news event could shoot this up, right? Oh, spread's increasing. Good. Let's see what our spreads are.
But you wouldn't put any trades until something happens.
Correct. I'm going to trade the after, not the beforehand, because with news, you have no idea. You toss a coin, right? Okay. And if you were to put buys on here thinking it was going to shoot up, and then it shoots down 50 pips, it could shoot down 2 price cycles, which is 40 pips, and that's 40 pips against you. So I'd rather wait and see what it does before trying to predict it, because you just never know. Right? Everybody out there in the world could say, well, we know that they're going to, especially with talking heads, it's the worst, right? Like a Jackson Hole summit, because you never know what they're going to say. But reports, you kind of have an indication of what the report is. People kind of tend to have an indication, but still, it could come out and be completely wrong from what everybody expects. And if it's wrong, then what people expect, the market moves quickly and fast against that. And so that's why I say just news events. Yeah, I don't like trading them because they're completely different from anything I've ever teach you guys. Does that make sense? So the way we trade news event, you've got to throw out the window, and you cannot trade that way anywhere else. All right. So here's starting to get some candle action. Exactly. Be like Elsa and let it go. So if I was normal trading this without a news event coming into play, I would say that we're right on the top. Obviously, we're right on the top of that price cycle. You should be looking for a price cycle down or a pop above this. And if it gets a pop above it, we could be in for 2 price cycles, which is my feeling right now, that it wants to pop above this and stay above this and start trading higher. That's my gut. Again, don't really have a ton of evidence other than the fact that we've just been climbing. And I could see it very easily climbing all the way to the top of the 5-minute chart, which is another 70 pips. I see it going all the way up, back up and testing the top during this Friday morning session.
So it's already broke that line, right?
It did break the line. So again, I'm just going to pull up FX Street and just see the news. Somebody said it was a red, but I don't really think we get
I didn't see a red.
Fridays.
Dave, I've got to go get ready for work.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, you're fine. So, hey, just hit me up when you're done and when you want to, when and where you want to meet up. Okay.
When and where. Sounds good. And I ended at 161.20 today.
Oh, thank you. Hold on. So you ended at what? What's your ending balance?
Ending balance 52.25 and 48 cents.
All right, Andrew, you made 3.18% today. Congratulations.
Not bad.
That's not
My
bad.
best day, I think. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
all right. Peace out.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye. All right, so I was going to FX Street economic calendar. If the news event is come and gone, Lottie freaking da. That was nothing burger. Nothing salad. I guess for your vegetarians. And nothing salad. All right. So, So yeah, Ed said there was something at the 8 o'clock. I have something at 8:30, which is a speech, and that's orange. I don't really see anything on FX Street. All right. So, seeing any news events. I saw some happen right when we got on, and that probably is what caused the market right here and here, because there was a bunch of news events at the 7 o'clock hour an hour ago. So that probably is what caused that. All right, so let's go ahead and as it comes down to here.
Mm-hmm.
So what time zone, Ed, are you talking about? Because I see at 8:30, there's Schnabel's speech, according to FX Street. And then I don't know what 57 means. It means it's happening right now. Oh, 56 minutes. Yeah, you're right. And then top of the hour. All right. So we're over on our trading time. Oh, we got a lot of chats. So Patricio, I'm going to see if we can't go ahead and let's build into some buys right there.
Okay.
See if we can't get it to retest the top.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good place for it. If it breaks lower, we're going to buy it all the way down to here. And then if it breaks that, we maybe, I mean, we still have this one and that's not very far away. So
Right.
we might just buy all the way down to here for a price cycle back up. So let's go ahead and look at what our price cycles are. Let me see the mouse really quick. So this was a 14 price cycle. This was a 20. All right. So it could run down 14, right? Or even 20.
Mm-hmm.
So before it comes back up. So I would, like I said, we're not going to go heavy. So again, Patricio, when I say you got to stack these layers. You can't just put them all on the same position. So you got to learn that one. Okay.
Right.
So
right.
I don't like it putting 2 trades in the same position. So just start like right now. Yeah. You could have put 1 trade there, 1 trade here, and 1 trade there.
Let me borrow my mouse. Okay.
Well, don't do it just yet. Like I said, we want to stay light because our price cycles are so big. So we don't want to get into a situation here where if it does run down all the way to here, well, that's another 10 pips. And so we want to just, when I say put one, we're going to just put 1 trade on. So
Okay.
if it breaks below here, go ahead and put 1 buy on.
Okay.
Go ahead and put 1 buy on. And then
Okay.
I'm going to tell you kind of where I want you to put. So if it comes down here and tests that, we'll go ahead and put 1 other buy on.
Mhm.
And then if it comes down here and tests that, you put another buy on.
Perfect.
And then if it breaks down and flickers with the candle, you can put another buy on there.
Okay.
Because this should be sitting right here should be the end of a 20 pip price cycle.
Right. And you want me to put that one before it gets there.
Yeah. Well, and if it sits on it, okay. And then if it breaks this, then we're into sells for a 2 price cycle run. And a 2 price cycle run could bring it all the way down to the bottom of that. And so that's where we would want to start selling all the way down to the bottom and then look for a pop up to kind of get out of our buys. So to me, if you guys aren't doing that, what exercises that I just did, you should be. So meaning, okay, if the market does this, I'm going to put 1 here, I'm going to put 1 here, I'm going to put 1 here. Okay, here's my shift point. And then what am I going to do? Right. And I think that if you start doing that and looking at the market through that kind of lens or that focus, you'll start realizing that you have a plan for if the market does what you want. And then you also have a plan for if the market doesn't do what you want. And you execute on both those plans and you'll be a more consistent trader. All right. I'm going to go through and answer some of these questions. So Patricia, I just laid out a game plan for you to follow.
Right.
The other thing that you need to look at is here is your action point for these buys.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
If it does come up here, then and stalls, it's when you want to get out. But
right.
My feeling is we're going to get a price cycle down before it pops up.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to just kind of scroll through your guys's and see if there's any questions here. Let's see here. Love your guys' comments, by the way. So Pete, there's a good question. It says, how much do you pay attention to the previous action points that have already passed up about 10 to 15 minutes ago? I don't. So I do and I do and I don't. It just depends on the closest support and resistance lines to current price are the most relevant. Right. So this would be more relevant. In fact, I'm going to change my color. So this is a teaching color. The white's the execution color.
Okay.
So just this would be an action point if it, but there's not enough profit in it, but it's still a resistance area. This is a support area. Right. But I don't look at anything really over here unless it coincides with this, which it does. So that makes it a little stronger because you have it over there. But, and this, I kind of warp into this. See that? So I kind of say, okay, because again, you never draw it with just a straight line. So I'm like, okay, this could be a bigger one. So I kind of look at this and this is one right here. So I kind of look to the left to see how strong of a position is. And if there's nothing over here that also has created a support in the past, then I don't look at that as being a very difficult challenge for the market to cross if you're only talking about like 2 bars and then it has to break through. So hopefully that answers that question. Clean off the green lines. Maybe I'll use a different color than green for education. Is there any way to practice action points? You can always back test. And that's a great thing to do, is just kind of look back. Alveo doesn't allow you to do that over the weekends. I'm not sure. I think it's closed. But MT4 is still open. So you could look and see, okay, here's the action point. This is what I would do. And practice as if you were trading. Okay, Alveo is open on Saturday. I just don't ever get into it. So, but I have noticed that MT4, because I have left my computer on, it never shuts off. It never shuts off. Like even like Alveo shuts off for like 9 minutes, 3 when the banks close. But yeah, that's a great way to practice, is backtest. Backtest is a really, really good way to learn different techniques and different strategies and just prove them out. And so when I'm backtesting, I usually take 10, the number 10, and I say, out of 10 times that I spot, how many times did it do what I think it was going to do? And if it does it greater than 70% of the time, then you have a good technique or strategy, right? If it does it, really if it does it 60%, but I like to have like 70% of the time that I think it's going to do something, and it does according to my back test. So 7 out of 10 times it's done that. It's a great thing that I want to maybe add into a great technique, or something that I want to maybe add. And so over the summer, I was really focused on trying to learn how to do overnight trading. And I kept backtesting, trying to figure out some rules or techniques that I could use, in my overnight trading. So I backtested a ton, right? Anytime you're starting to do something new, it's always a good idea to backtest that. Nick, let me get to the next question. I have a question from earlier. When you had your cells on at the top, at the bottom, you said you'd put more on the top. For my trading. So when you're talking like, well, to be perfectly honest with you, let's see here. Some of it is because I wasn't trading. I was helping Patricio, so some of it I probably missed, but I wouldn't have gone as heavy as Patricio did for sure. And I wait. So as soon as it crossed, I'm looking at my chart real quick and seeing where exactly that was. Okay, so it was right here, I believe. So it came down right here, and I got into some cells right here. And then I waited and got into a few more cells right here. As soon as I saw this pop up right here, I didn't want to sell because this candle was one candle, and it was a large candle, meaning that the momentum of this candle could have easily carried it through right here. If it had gradually gone up, I would have sold into here. But because the action of that candle says, oh, I'm going all the way up, I didn't fade that because I wanted to see this was an action point, right? And I want to see if it would cross. And it did cross. And so that's why I didn't get into any sells, where I think Patricio kept selling right all through here. Right? As soon as he saw that candle, he started smacking. And I'm not saying that was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying experience has taught me that anytime I get a candle that's not normal to the subsequent candles, and I'm not saying it's abnormal, certainly wasn't an abnormal candle, but it was a momentum candle. and it just shot up, right? I kind of wait and see, what does that mean? Sometimes it means I'm faking and I'm going to come right back down. And I would have played that if it shot past this. So if this would have been all one candle here, I definitely would have been fading that. But because it stopped at the action point, then that's exactly what that is. It's an action point. So I'm like, okay, well, is it going to continue or is it going to come back down? And if it came back down, my action would have been different than had it come back up. And then you see how it comes up. And then right here, I kind of sold because I'm like, okay, we got 2 of those candles. Chances of it pulling back a little bit is high. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, keep doing that to you, Patricia. Sorry. And that's just an experience thing. When you know, and that's not something that but good question. Great question. To me, this is more like a level 3 thing where you just kind of see that. You've seen it a million times. So you just kind of going to do that. So it's kind of hard to really teach that. It's more just based on experience, right? And learning your action points. And also, I wasn't totally paying close attention to my trading, as it's just difficult to trade and teach. So, right here, I sold here, but I probably would have sold here, but I didn't, but I probably would have. All right.
So what is your switching point from buys to sells there?
Right here, just because it kind of changes the trend. You see how we got this small little trend, and as soon as it crosses over here, that means it's no longer following that little tiny trend. It means it's going to come down, right? That's a trend reversal. And I'm not saying like I'm not looking at like a 5 minute, 10 minute, hour long trend. I'm just saying this short little price cycle up, right? And I also fib level this. So I use the Fibonacci a lot in my trading.
How do you use it on LFMX? Well,
you can, but I use it in my head. But this is the fib retracement up here. I think it's this guy right there.
Well,
and you can draw that on the chart, but I've done it so many times that I don't need to draw it. But I do know that, obviously if it's come down here and it's come down to here, probably if it breaks that, then that's the 61.8% retracement off of that move. And it's likely going to come down and touch the bottom. Right. And so you got a lot of supporting evidence that you're trying to mount. Like I use the analogy of being a lawyer, right? So if you're a lawyer and you're trying to win your case, you're going to try and go and get as much evidence to support your case as you probably can. The more evidence that you have that supports your case as to why something happened or is going to happen, the chances of that work, the probability increases. Does that make sense? And so you have, if it crosses here, you have a trend break, you have an action point break, and you have a fib level break. And so all of those 3 points tells me that the probability of it coming all the way down is extremely high. But it doesn't mean that it's going to do that in 1 or 2 bars. It could certainly come down, come back up, and then come back down, right? So the saying is, I'm often right on where it's going, but have no idea on how it gets there.
I mean, these last 5 minutes of information, David, are very valuable. Thanks.
Good.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Nick just said, just going back to your comment, yes, you get out $50 somewhere in the middle. So I was curious how you balance. Does that answer your question? Remy says, It's like boot camp. Yeah, I don't know. Boot camp's awesome. Like live boot camp. Online's good too, but you get to just see different perspectives and different traders for sure, right? And I don't want to take away. I'm a little hesitant. I don't want to take away from anything that, last thing I want to do is Sean's trying to, run a business and like, nah, we don't need to. We don't need to because we got Dave in the morning now. We don't need to do boot camps. I'm a
Where
little
do
bit.
boot camps take place, David?
In Utah.
Okay.
So the live ones are still at the hotel because Sean has a trading ranch that he's putting together, and eventually he's going to have them there on his ranch and on his land. But then there's online ones too that we do. Next week, I guess if you guys are coming to it, you'd probably be heading this way. But anybody on to today that's going to be there next week, so maybe we can link up and put a match of face with the name. Probably not. Okay.
I'll be there.
Ike, awesome.
Yes.
Well, make sure you come up and introduce yourself when I'm there so that I can put a face with the name. It'd be awesome to shake your guys' hands for sure.
We'll see you there.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So it's starting to slowly just kind of work its way down. I don't know, like the momentum of the candles, all this kind of fun stuff. I don't know if it's going to get down and cross this right here just before it does decide to come back up. But again, making sure that you're extremely light. And so you're kind of right at the point where I want you to be for this session, Patricia, which is 2 lots. The only time I want you to really go in to more is if it does cross this and you want to switch into sells. I would switch into sells, but keep my buys on so that you don't take the max loss on here. If it does cross that. Now, I don't know if it will. It's definitely going to come down and test it. But we'll see. And if it does test it, I'd still continue to put buys on and then make this your action point, right? And see if you can't get out. See if you can't put a couple more trades on. I'm not saying right now, but when it comes down to this level, put a few more trades on so that if it does come up here, test this and crosses into this area, you could get out with profit. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So that's kind of what I want you to do. If it does, in fact, cross this point, I don't want you to immediately just get out of your buys because our candles are not large. They're not running right now on us. They're not like five pip candles. So if it does come down and cross this with a body, so it comes into here and it pulls back right there. So there's our test. So go ahead and buy right there. Put a buy on. There's our test. So if it comes down and crosses into this with the body, when you get that pullback, I would put some sells on. So now we're trading both directions.
Okay.
But it hasn't crossed yet. So in fact, I'm going to just clean the charts up because you've executed everything perfectly like I was talking about. So now we're into some new information, right? So again, I'm not saying that this candle, if this candle right here closes above that, then this was just a test. It wasn't a break, right? But you executed that perfectly. So if we do get a break above this, it's going to put you into profit. If not, I would get out and get into some sells. So here's our action point, but wait, we got 10 seconds left on this candle. I think it'll pop up above. Okay, that's a good sign. It's a really good sign, and even better sign, right? This is your new action point.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. You could have gotten a little more profit out of that. My feeling is it's going to come back down, test that, and then bounce up and go to the top of that. Had you held on to that, you probably would have got a little bit more profit, but that's okay too. And I think this is a great thing. But you see how I was prepared for that mentally, for that to happen. And I called it. And I'm not saying that I have, psychic powers or anything. I've just seen this enough to be like, okay, this is probably what it's going to do, because the actions of this candle, the momentum of the candle, and then all of a sudden slow, and then big. Usually when you get a bigger momentum coming off of shorter candles, that's like a exhaustion or a stretch. And if it crosses that, I don't really trust it. And you see how we get that pull back right there. And and the other thing is like I said, it was going to come down, test it, and then come back up and hit that. And that's exactly what it did. Right. And so I said, you could have held on a little bit more for a little bit more profit. And then this is your new action point. I would have gotten out of your buys right there. So you only missed out on just a little tiny bit, because I would get out because this candle is now flickering. Anytime I see a flicker, it means that it's going to come back down. Might as well get out. And then that's where you could recycle your trades if you wanted to. Right. So you would get out up here. If it comes down here, test this, you could get back in. But I always love hitting the reset, and you're at another reset point. So now you can decide, okay, you know what? We got this little channel that's forming right here. Maybe it's time to start wobbling this right here. And that's not a bad thing to do. Pick up profit, wobble that. And that's probably what I would be doing, just wobbling this channel and then seeing if it does in fact come down and break here, and then get into some sells. So I love the reset to zero, because it just gives you a fresh perspective. I don't think we're going to trade anymore today though, Patricio, because we're over time, and we'll just take our profits and run. But I am going to quickly address some questions that we have out there. Nick's going to come to the wobble boot camp. I think that's happening in January. Boot camps are all day, every day, some nights. Yeah, they are all day, every day, trading. And you get up in the middle of the night, you wake up in the early morning. It's a boot camp. You don't plan on sleeping. Oh, the wobble boot camp. Oh, online. I think there's a live one coming up in January though. We don't really have a calendar that's public, because the dates sometimes shift and change. And so we have to lock the dates down. So we can't forecast out 6 months, because sometimes dates change. Yeah, Barb is the one that usually is like the gatekeeper, knows all that kind of stuff. All right. So I didn't really see a whole lot of questions, just good comments. Joseph, thank you for that comment, because I've been really kind of in the back of my mind. I don't want to pull away from anything that Sean's doing or teach any adverse. I want to just add to it, right? And at some point, just to let you guys kind of know what I'm thinking about doing with this journey of the 5 to 50. Obviously this is big picture. If this works out, I mean, when it works out, I'm not saying like we hit our goal. We're doing this for a marketing purpose. So kind of big picture. I'm going to take these guys, get them into a $50,000 account. Once that happens, then we'll do it with another group, but we're going to broadcast this, like to go to the YouTube play, the social media play, get new people coming into the Discord channel, just growing that channel. And I'm not for you guys, but I am going to start charging new people coming in with the marketing from I'm pulling in from YouTube or social media channels, just like to be here on these events, these live events, right? So that aren't part of Apiary, and they're coming in, and then I'm going to try to, it's just like I don't know. I have no idea what that charge is going to be, but I'm still kind of flushing that out. So I have no idea what that's going to be, what that's going to look like, but it's not going to be, it'll probably be anywhere from like $15 to $20, but I do think there's an extreme value for people who have never seen this or trading live every single day. And I'm doing it personally. I'm doing it because I want to help people, but also it'll help me provide more value if I can actually get paid to do this, if that makes sense. So right now I'm just doing it because I'm nice, but I want to actually start making money. But anybody that's in Trader on the Street or apiary, that I'm just doing it as part of my wobble crew. Oh, look at that. It shot up. So, but I mean, it kind of did what I thought it was going to do. You make your money trading. Okay. So I do make money trading, but, you also want to be it just adds a little more, like I'm willing to help people out if they're paying for your time. If that makes sense. I mean, Sean makes money trading, but he also makes money running a company. So there is also something that I'll tell you guys, that if you guys are trying to trade for a living, it becomes really difficult unless you've done it for a long time. So what I mean by that, if you're like, oh, I have to make a certain amount because I have to make a car payment, I have to make a mortgage payment, it adds another layer of stress and complexity to your trading that you just don't want to have, right? You just don't want to have that. And so you want to get to the point where you, like, in my mind, a $50,000 account for me it takes money obligations to another level, basically, because I know I can pull out 1% a day with my eyes closed. And so I don't need to risk. I don't need to have a huge risk. I can make $500 a day, $1,000 a day. And that money can be my trading income, right? Trade for income. And then I find other ways to invest to make more money. So anyways, that's kind of the big picture, kind of where we're headed, where we're going. And just kind of want to give you guys thought on that. Just kind of help, if you guys could help us build the like, subscribe, all this kind of stuff we're doing. I'd appreciate that. Think of that as the way that you can support me, is just, as I throw out new stuff, be active on Discord, welcome new people. I'd appreciate that, because I'm not going to charge you guys, because you're already in Trader on the Street and apiary fund. But if you want to continue this, that's the only thing I'd probably ask. Just be social, welcome people, like, subscribe, comment, just do what you're doing, right? Let's not let Discord be quiet. Let's build a good, solid community that people want to have open and be a part of every day. Anyways, that being said, thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and end it there. I'm excited for non-farm. I think that'll be kind of fun next week. And then we'll see you guys Monday morning if you want to continue the journey. Did we get your ending numbers, Patricio? Let's get those real quick.
Yeah, those were ending numbers 22315.20.
22315.20.
Right.
All right, so you made 1.24%, not bad.
Okay.
It didn't hit our 2% goal, but I'd still take it, right? I think for you, just really quickly, what would be your takeaway today from the session? What did you learn? What kind of takeaways would you have?
Again, that conversation we had about the trend reversing on the 1 minute chart, once we're trying to understand exactly and how to stack trades rather than just seeing one place, like you said. I think all of that definitely helps a lot. I learned a lot from that.
Good. Did you see, I think we missed a few opportunities there because you jumped in on a layer. And did you see how we closed out and we took a loss? I felt like it was important to take that loss right there at that point because the market had shifted. Did you see that when we took your $200 loss? or it was like $100. I don't know. It was like a couple $100 loss.
Right, like you said, and you've said several times, if you just go ahead and not be married to whatever you've already done, it can shift in a moment's notice, and much better take a decision, take the loss, and keep working on building rather than just staying there and making it worse.
Right. So, so what I'm saying about that the opportunity was missed, and it's partly my fault for not holding you more or teaching you about trading light when our price cycles are so big. So if we would have started out light instead of heavy, you were normal trading, you were normally doing what you're normally supposed to do on price cycles of 5 to 10 pips. But because we were 15 to 20 pip price cycles, we should have traded lighter in our positions. Does that make sense? And if we were lighter in our positions, we wouldn't have had such a big loss when we had to take that loss and change the direction. Right.
Right.
And so that to me was the big opportunity, or the big learning takeaway from the session today, is that when price cycles are larger, you trade smaller, right? Because we're not going to go for 3 pips. We're going to go for 6 to 10 pips on 20 pip price cycles. Does that make sense? But if it's
but it could work against you, right?
No, it won't. It will never. Trading light never works against you.
No. I mean, doing it heavy.
What's
doing
that?
it heavy.
Going in heavy, right? And I'm not saying that was heavy. I'm saying you were trading like you should be trading for price cycles of 10 pip price cycles.
Right.
That's normally what we get when we trade. Does that make sense? But when you notice that price cycles are now extremely larger, that should be your first. That's why we always measure price cycles at the very beginning, because that tells us the takeaway from measuring the price cycle should also help us identify, okay, what position sizes should I be trading? How many layers should I be putting on? Right. And all that kind of stuff. And so that's why, going back to level 1 wobbling, you know your layers, you know how many layers you're going to put on. And then you measure your price cycles. And if we have greater than 10, well, you just cut your layers in half. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to put 4 trades on per layer. Well, we got 20 pip price cycles. Now I'm only going to put 2 trades on per layer. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So that to me is the biggest takeaway from today's session, would be if we had done that, and that's partly my bad for not bringing that to the attention right out of the gate. Then we would not have had that big of a loss, because we would have been lighter. That makes sense?
That makes absolute sense. No, I
So that's
agree.
my takeaway.